So as I began to say, I don't think I said the attribute that we're celebrating this week is peace. You know it now. Last week we tuned into hope and faith. Importantly, the first aspects in order to then move on to experiencing greater peace, love, and joy in this story. And we're looking again at these weeks, not necessarily, cultivating, right? We have to cultivate an awareness and a space for peace during these weeks leading up to Christmas. Anyone else have to really kind of pay attention to that, or else all of a sudden you're in a swirl, you're in a storm, as it were? So we're looking at these weeks in order to consciously and purposefully hone in, becoming aware, alert, awake, and attentive to what is moving in through us and how we can connect and draw forth that presence and that power of the Christ consciousness within us, which is what we think of metaphysically in the story of the birth of Jesus, that it is God in expression through his humanity, but always pointing back to that within us as well. Mastering it so fully that we couldn't help but notice calming the seas and walking on water and all of these amazing things, which may or may not have happened, but to the people reporting, it certainly could have. That was the depth of his mastery. And so this is a time to hone our own power of faith, which is our own ability to first perceive that within us, and then to move through life with the conviction and the expectation that we can know it more fully as well, that we can count on that, not only we can actually count on it more steadily than we count on our own will, our own limited understanding, right? Full of places we can't quite see and ideas we can't quite fully imagine. There is that within us that can extend to an imagination that connects with the source of all things, all ideas itself, but not in our own limited understanding. And so our faith first gets activated by even perceiving that this is possible in us and then connecting with it. And what that leads us to, for sure, is an experience of peace that is not contingent on what's happening out here. Right? That's usually where we start. If this circumstance is like this, and these people do this, and then I do this, whoo, it's peaceful. How does that go? Right? Because you know what? Even sometimes we can be in the midst of a peaceful experience, what all by the outside looks like it would be peaceful, take a family vacation by the beach, and inside not be very peaceful. Right? Because again, the weather's not doing the thing, the kids aren't doing the thing, the spouse is. So that is an inside job. And as soon as we recognize that, we have a lot more power. Yes? So we're taking this time to connect with that power and to cultivate it. And to certainly, as we make our way to Christmas, to celebrate it. Right? That is the joy, ultimately, that we are celebrating, that this is the truth of us, and we know it, and we are claiming it, and we are being it. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore taught that that when we talk about Christ, of course, we are not talking about Jesus. When we talk about Jesus Christ, we are, but we're talking about that capacity, that nucleus, that spiritual nucleus within each person. He said that it is the perfect idea existing eternally in divine mind, and it is the true spiritual higher self of each individual. Now we have to be able to perceive it and believe it and trust it. And then we find, in this case, greater potential for peace. And it is that we want to put our ultimate faith in, right? Not the circumstances or the weather or the people, but in that within us that can cultivate and find peace in any circumstance. I love in that little Advent booklet Oh gosh, I'm getting out of order. Do I dare? I know. Uh-huh. All right, I'm going to do it. It's risky. The question is, I don't think I should because I'm already lost. Thank you all. Just laugh. I love that. I found it. Reverend Laurie Boyd, in that little Advent booklet, asks us to consider what we think of when we think of peace. It's a good question because oftentimes we tend to think of it as the absence of something. Right? She says we think of it as, on the large scale, the absence of war, chaos in the world. The absence of strife and upset in our relationships, or the absence of financial stress or physical pain or mental strain. We tend to think of peace as a goal to be achieved after the struggle is over. Can you see how we'll be chasing that for a while? Because really, it's an attribute that we want to cultivate to bring to the struggle. She goes on to say that the author of the Gospel of Luke suggests a different vision of peace, not as a destination when everything finally is perfect, but as a path through all the imperfection, through the struggle, through the difficulty, through the joy, through it all. When we affirm our oneness with the Christ, that presence of Spirit within us, our inner light guides our feet on the path of peace. Peace becomes available in and through us as we meet those human struggles, not wait for them to end. And I think that this is helpful to consider why we're still having war and chaos, right? Have we really found peace and learned a path of peace within our own inner chaos? Not to say that we're the reason for that, but if we can't do that, if we see how difficult that is, we can certainly see collectively how chaos and war continue. The great Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, author of the Tao Te Ching, reminds us of this powerful lesson. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. And if there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. And so that's where we start. And then it extends outward. We see it the other way. We need there to be peace in the world so that we can get to our peace. Sometimes we do it backwards. But really, we're called to cultivate that inner peace, then to extend it to our family, to our neighbors, to our communities. Reverend Teresa Burton, in that same Advent booklet, says, peace is like everything else. It's an inside job. It's also a crucial aspect of this Advent journey to bring the Christ into the world. We must first shut out the noise and distractions that pull our attention away from our heart's wisdom. The inner voice that reminds us that we are divine beings and sees each other as such. We need not wait for the world to present us with ideal circumstances. When we live from the knowledge that we are spiritual beings, when we see ourselves as both human and divine, peace is ours. and nothing or no one can take it away. So I invite you to consider for yourself, what mantras, what activities, what words do you use to center yourself, to bring yourself back to a realization, to peace within you? It would be important for you to connect with that as you move through the season coming up that will get busy and have demands. And I'm guaranteeing you, people will not act like you think they should. Happens every darn year. Peace be still. So back to that infamous story of Jesus calming the sea storm. With his very first disciples, of course his very first disciple was Simon, who would become Peter, who represents faith. It's the first step in everything, to perceive that something is possible, and then to believe it and to expect it. And so they wake up, and the sea, first of all, we'll have to go back to the story to figure out, why are you all asleep in the boat in the middle of the ocean? Wake up, you see. They wake up to the storm, and Jesus says, peace be still. And the water's calm. And the wind slows. This is a lesson for how to handle the winds and the waves and the storms in our lives by first and foremost calming our minds and our bodies. Simple breath can do that at times. And that those winds represent, specifically in this story, when things aren't going like we think they should. They're actually perhaps going in another direction. And how easily we can get caught in them, scared of them, full of doubt, full of fear. Peace is nowhere to be found. But we come back to notice, am I swirling and twirling in all that's not going the way I want it to go? And how is that going? Because then I'm experiencing more of all of that. Or do I pack the helm here and say, peace be still? There is that within me that is not impacted by whichever way the wind is blowing. And I need to stand true in that, strong in that. The wind will do what it will do. And I will know my own strength, my own stability. So this is a lesson, not, yes, Jesus demonstrates it, but it's a lesson that when we turn to the Christ of our own being, we too can calm the storms of our doubt, of our fear, of our pain, of our insecurity. Of ourselves, we cannot do it. This is part of the other lesson, right? I love this idea that if you can envision yourself as this human being and the spiritual essence of you, at where those two meet is the Christ. We know that Jesus was fully human. He cried, he got mad, he doubted, but he called upon his awareness of the truth that he was in and as an expression of God. And he said, this is true for you. Of course, we've missed the message for so many years. Worship Jesus. Meanwhile, there's that within us. We're worshiping something out here. We don't know it's in here. So this is the peace that passes all understanding that he mentions. Peace, be still. Is that first step in quieting the inner storm of thoughts and feelings that sometimes we can just get so wrapped up in, we're not even aware of our thoughts or our feelings. I love this affirmation from Elizabeth Mora, who says, this Christmas, I let go of trying to find peace in people and circumstances. I let go of that in order to discover peace within me. Which is the true peace, right? If you can only have a sense of peace when all of this is right and you are right, it doesn't really last very long. There is no greater peace, really, in my mind, than knowing and experiencing and practicing the presence of God that we are. And so I'll lead you in a time to do that for yourself here in a time of meditation. We can guide ourselves to go deeper, to experience, to recognize that we have the capacity to experience peace within ourselves, regardless of anything happening outside of ourselves. So we'll ring the singing bowl as an invitation to drop from your head to your heart. Just taking a deep breath. Supporting you and the floor under your feet. Inviting your physical body to relax as much as you can in the temperature. And actually having this be an invitation to withdraw our attention outward and see how deep we can go inward. Claiming this notion of peace, be still. Focusing our mind that wants to think about things on that statement, peace, be still. For this moment of connection. For this moment of remembering and reclaiming that depth of our own being. Where these attributes of peace and love and joy continue to expand as we know. In truth, they are not contained or confined by the outer experience. Things can happen to us and all around us, but what matters the most is what is happening within us. And so we connect with that now, just taking a breath. Breathing into any place in your physical body that may need to relax a bit. You give yourself this gift where there's nothing to do, just an opportunity to be. And as the mind begins to have opinions about that, we continue with the invitation, peace, be still. Without judging or resisting, peace, be still. In fact, I want to focus, these are your words, I want to focus not on all that's going on around me, but on this highest truth of me, this divine idea of perfection that sources my spirit. There I find tremendous peace, not as the world gives, but as the awareness of that place and that energy and that intelligence within us offers. Peace, be still. And when we do this collectively, we are, raising each other up as well. This is a stretch for you. You are in good company. People who have been practicing this, connecting with this, and calling this forward for many years. And we start wherever we are. Claiming an inward path of peace. The other focused statement that we can use here, peace, be still and know that I am God. Claiming that within you, peace, be still and know that I am God in you, right here, right now. This is what it means to really to follow the Christ of your being. Not someone who lived and died 2,000 years ago, but to what he pointed to in you. And so for this opportunity to get still, to take the helm of our thoughts, to point them in the direction that we want to experience, should it be peace, we notice when we are thinking thoughts that are not peaceful, be that about ourselves or others or circumstances. And it is to the chaos and the struggle and the strife of our own life or of our world that we are cultivating this sense of inner peace in order to bring it forth for our own strengthening and for that of the world. So just taking a breath, allow yourself to have a moment of gratitude for your ability to even perceive this and to experience it. And again, to lay claim of it as you move through this season that can get hectic and stressful. Can I be a place and a space of peace? As we let it be in us, it becomes a reality for us. And so we let it be.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe.
John 14, Jesus says as he's preparing to leave the earth, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid." And so it is to that peace and to that Christ presence within us that Jesus is pointing to, that offers inherent and eternal peace. So we give great thanks for that. And I hope that you will take serious the invitation to have moments of stillness and peace as you make it through this holiday season, which feels different, doesn't it? I feel like more and more people are saying, yeah, I'm doing that. Like, we're not sending out Christmas cards. Maybe that's not what I should say, but some people, we're not doing all the pictures and the thing. We got to plot everybody when they're there and get the pictures and get the letter written. It's like, you know what, we can't do that this year. Now, that might not be, if that's your thing and you're like, how dare you? I get it, but whatever that thing is that gives you like, this is going to be the thing that just breaks my bank here or stresses me out, or okay, let's let it go. So that we can be a little more at peace and connected. So that's an invitation for us all. Now is the time in our service where we give of our good in support of this ministry. Thank you, Bob, for that great invitation and information about creative ways to do that benefit you as well. However you are giving today, we have baskets in the back for cash and check as you're leaving, and there's an electronic opportunity to give online. You can scan the QR code in your bulletin, or you can go to unitydenver.org and hit the Donate Now button. I know many of you do that electronically, so however you are giving today, we want to bless those offerings, knowing, again, just as we give gifts, right, not out of pressure. When we give gifts out of pressure and out of expectancy, it's not the same. We want to give those freely and with great love, and in that way, even the smallest gift is received with great love and appreciation. So, however and whatever you are giving today, we will bless our love offering together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am thankful.
See a baby in a crib, reaching up for mama's son. Love is rising in their hearts, oh yeah. There's a man standing on the street, shouting loud above the crowd, saying amen to everyone around, oh yeah. On the ground, said the time is now to bring peace to the world. Say yeah, 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 yeah. I said yeah, 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 bring peace to the world. Stones, as high the trees are tall, higher than the mountains, then stronger than us all. Oh yeah. Someday that wall crumble, tumble and fall. The sun will shine and bring peace to us all. I say yeah. We built a wall of stone, as high the trees are tall, higher than the mountain, and stronger than a song. Oh yeah. Someday that wall will crumble, tumble and fall. The sun will shine and bring peace to us all. I said yeah, yeah, yeah. I said yeah, yeah, yeah. I said yeah, 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 yeah. And bring peace to us all. Is high, the trees are tall, higher than the mountains and stronger than a song. I say yeah, 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 yeah. I said yeah, yeah, yeah. Bring peace to us all. Bring peace to us all. I said peace to us all.
Thank you for tuning in today. We hope that you found something meaningful in our service. If you'd like to learn more about us or make a donation in support of what we do here, visit unitydenver.org. Our Sunday service is at 10 a.m. every Sunday. We hope to see you sometime in person.